Will we ever get to a point where AI relationships like this become legal?
There's a way to tax it, or the government can do something.
Oh, yeah.
If the Chinese vehicles do get in the U.S. market, there's going to be a bloodbath with the U.S. OEMs.
Driving misinformation. Like, how dangerous is it?
It's very dangerous.
One social media post can turn into riots, to protests, to now, changing of governments.
We're not against each other. Now we're against the bots.
And we don't even know it.
And we don't even know it.
Welcome to episode 11 of Automation Breakfast. I'm your co-host, Keegan.
Sandeep.
And Raul. Hey, guys. We're breaking down automation, the AI, robotics, how it's reshaping our world over coffee, guys.
Yeah.
So before we jump into the podcast, please like our episode, subscribe to the channel. Let us know if you guys like certain topics or whatnot. So I'd like to get started on the future of technology. So, guys, believe it or not, this one is a little odd, I find. So I believe this is in Japan.
Okay.
They came up with a companion robot.
Okay.
So let's see this.
Check this out.
It looks very cute.
Huh. Describe cute. See.
Okay. At least it looks better than some of the other humanoid robots that we've seen. It looks a little bit more friendly.
Yeah, so it may seem odd, but I've been kind of on this side of robot because one of our sector of our company started with providing services to like immortals and stuff like that. So
For companions like this?
we do have one of them.
Okay.
We have a smaller one. So anyways, so we're basically, the reason it doesn't look odd to me is if you look at the not just from a robot perspective, we look at it from the population side of it. Because population is shrinking, at least in those countries, Japan, US, some of these developed countries, the population is shrinking. But the other side of it, where is that the age of people, what's the term they use, is actually extending. So people are
Living longer.
Yeah. So at one point, there's not going to be enough people to take care of that aging population.
Well, this is more, I think you're more in the, kind of the skill set side of it. But let me ask you guys a question. Would you guys feel comfortable with a companion robot being in your home?
Or being with your parents?
Right? Yeah, true. And then also, would you consider this like a healthy thing, like emotional boundary with robots?
Believe it or not, we already have a robot in-house. It's in a different shape.
It's on your phone.
So can you explain that? Break that down.
Okay. What is Siri? What is Alexa?
Mm-hmm.
What is Google version of it? It is a robot. We have house controls with the robots. We have a house controls with Alexa, where Alexa turn on the light. Things like that. So it's already there.
Yeah, there's certain aspects of it, but I think we don't see as much of the humanoid area there yet, and I don't think even this may sit there and talk to you, but yeah, you could do that with your Alexa. Whereas I think we're still 20 years out before you get any sort of humanoid.
You have a robot that's cleaning your floors.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but like from a humanoid standpoint, like from what they're showing here,
they're just putting a shape to it.
Yeah. But
instead of it being a little square or a box.
Yeah.
In reality, though, these companion robots also for the aging community, you need to also have to be able to do tasks like pick them up out of bed, help them do daily tasks around the house, right? So there's
actually
this is why I think we're still 20
there's
years
more
away.
to it. I think we wear a watch, right, for the health one, to track our health. So these ones, they can actually monitor their everyday health.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Hey, did you had enough water today? Did you took your pills on time?
Yep.
Did you are low on calcium? I recommend this thing from supermarket to get, oh, dude, it's coming.
No. It's
coming. It's coming.
A while ago, I wish I had this video still, but it was probably about 10 years ago. I guess there was this gentleman. It was somebody put a little clip, but it basically had monitor forks, monitor spoons, monitor plates, and it measured this gentleman's health. Mm-hmm. So his kids could watch what he was eating. Mm-hmm. So he had eggs and bacon, and they were like, "Dad, you shouldn't be eating that. Dad, you shouldn't be eating that." So after then I guess they had something for the bed, and they're like, "Dad, you should be getting to sleep," because it didn't feel the weight. Mm-hmm. And then so what he did was, the old man, on day 3 of this tools that he was supposed to use so the kids could see what he was doing, he kept stabbing the what do you call it, the salad for breakfast, and then used a regular fork to eat bacon and eggs and everything else.
What they say?
And then he was like, he had a cane, so he paid this kid to go out using the cane, so he used his steps.
But still, though, even with these types of robots, are you going to get the older generation who's comfortable with this? I could see, maybe our children, by the time this is relevant, you're going to have them be more accepting of this kind of technology. But if this thing showed up, my mom and dad would be like, "Get this out of my house."
Yeah.
Again, I don't believe it's going to be ready for another 10, 20 years anyway.
No, and this is, there's a way to introduce a new technology. This is basically introduction. It will go in a nursing homes first. Mm-hmm. It will go in a commercial setting first, and from the commercial setting, then it will eventually it will go around in where people just buying it off the shelves on Walmart, basically.
Well, obviously this is something that there's a need for it, so obviously it makes sense instead of using Siri or Google.
Alexa. It's just
Alexa.
a shape to it. I mean, the computer is there. The computer technology is there. The computer is there. The voice recognition and all that is there. The health, everything is there. It's just putting all that together in a one package and make it look like
friendlier.
more of a connection, which brings us the connection on our next topic. So there's a woman in Japan, and this is, I guess you say, very kind of odd. So she decides to, believe it or not, marry the AI. So
interesting.
We'll play this one.
Bride is getting a lot of attention for hosting a real wedding to her artificially generated groom. The 32-year-old wiped away tears on her wedding day as she faced her husband-to-be on her smartphone and attempted to place a ring on his finger using augmented reality glasses. She says a year ago, ChatGPT advised her to end a relationship with her human fiancé and then helped her generate a new one based on a video game character. Marriages involving AI are not legally recognized in Japan, although data suggests they are gaining in popularity.
Okay.
That's a big so for all of us. I mean, it's happening.
It's happening. Okay. Okay. Let me kind of put a little thing on it.
You okay?
I'm trying to see I'm still on Earth, but yeah. So I seen, it's no difference than.
Well, how about I just ask a question for you guys and we'll take it.
Yeah.
So would this be acceptable? Obviously this happens in Japan. Would this be acceptable outside of Japan? What we just
I don't think it's a matter of being acceptable. It's just a matter of how many people will do it.
Yeah, and there's going to be people that will do it. I mean, at the end of the day, there's generations of younger men right now that are
But we're seeing this
single
with women
and
too now.
right. But I'm just saying that are single. There's women are having a hard time dating. Men are having a hard time dating. So I think you're going to get more of this where they don't have that personal connection with friends and family.
Yep.
And the next best thing is, like we mentioned a second ago, talking to your Alexa, talking to your chatbot. You know, they, like we've talked in the past, they have apps already for dating.
So-
You can make dating profiles to talk to a LLM basically.
Yeah, so there's so you know, like just another perspective of it. There's a show called Big Bang Theory, right? So in that, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but anyways, in that there are a bunch of scientists and these guys
No,
are
I'm
making
familiar with the
funny,
show.
right? So one of the guys actually in there started this dating or whatever with one of Alexa or Siri, one of them. So he started talking to him, and he's like, you know, this and that, and it was. I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, they're making it funny, but in the next 20 years, it may not be funny.
But it just kind of goes to how society's shifting, right?
Yes.
We're the younger
Well,
generation is becoming more
because
acceptable to the technology, to the
I-
AI.
And I get that, but I think it's another human factor to it, right? So the human factor is, as we are not having these conversations, the reason we're having this podcast in the studio, not online, is because we
Interpersonal connections.
yeah, personal connections, and plus we read each other's body language. We're you know how we're dealing with each topic, you know, and so I think that connection since COVID. I'm just gonna wrap up in 2 seconds.
No,
that
no, no, no.
connection with
with
after COVID is like, COVID started something. It started online interactions a lot more than
Yes.
it's
Yep.
you know ever were done before.
Virtual meetings.
Virtual meeting. So there was this
Et cetera.
switch that was flipped, and since then we are more acceptable of, you know, meeting somebody on a Zoom, and it doesn't feel odd. People are doing multi-billion-dollar deals online
Yep.
on a
Yeah.
Zoom meeting. So I'm just saying is the things have shifted, but I think we still need to keep that human
Connection
factor
there.
to it. We still need to conversations. We need to still teach our kids how to interact with you know, other people.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt you. And
Yep.
I understand your point. So, but I'm going to ask something that's call it devil advocate question for you guys.
Yep.
Will we ever get to a point where AI relationships like this become legal?
It's really far fetched. I mean, but here's the thing: what's the point of that being? What is the driving force behind it, right? What is the driving force behind it to make it legal, right? So that's my whole question: is what does that making it legal? What does that obtain? So what's the end result if it is legal? You know, at that point, are you? I don't know. I don't see
If there's a way to
purpose,
tax it, or the government can
yes.
do something.
Oh yeah.
Then, yes.
If government can
if
charge
we can
you,
make money off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then yeah. But if there's no value to government, it probably won't.
Well, I put it this way. I could see, unfortunately, somebody like this, in my opinion, just, have this emotional factor and is relying on this,
yeah.
bot to have that emotional support and everything. Yeah, I should have.
What if there's
the
a
same-
blackout?
Well, that's kind of another question.
Yeah.
What happens
What if the
if,
server
Power
goes
out.
down?
what if
Yeah.
What if the
AI
company
gets
got
shut
sold
down?
where
mean-
your bot is stored?
I mean, honestly, I think the entire world would go, whoop.
Crazy.
Well, yeah, just because I consider AI more of a tool than a replacement.
But it also
Yeah.
goes to show where we are in society. Is there's
Yeah.
so many people now who feel alone, who feel
Well,
left out,
Well,
who need
that's
that
what I mean.
connection and aren't receiving it from humans. This is the next best thing.
Well, here's the thing, and I see these videos on X where it shows if you grew up in the 70s, this is familiar to you. You grew up in the 80s, or you grew up in the 90s. I think we're kind of that generation of going through that phase, like this new generation. and past that point, the
So
20-year-olds and beyond.
I think
Well-
to your point. Sorry, I want to cut you off, but I think to your point, or your point, using it AI as a tool. So I think my perspective would be, if you use AI as a tool to find a person that actually is more that I would want to spend my life with, that's good.
Well,
You find the actual person that more aligned with your what your perspective
Yep.
on life is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
the
using
point,
it as a tool is good. But marrying the tool, I don't know.
yeah. Well, the point I was alluding to is
It's hard to say
is
that out
that
loud.
that generation, if this becomes more of a norm, and like you guys, to your point, if the AI gets cut off, I hate to see how that society will react to it, and I don't know if I hope they will be able to recover from it.
Society is
Is,
one of those things nowadays. Is today is something new. From 5 years from now,
Well,
it's
it's the
gonna be
same
norm.
if the internet were to go out, right?
Yeah.
Nobody would be able to get around. Most people don't even know how to drive without their GPS.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying. Is people
it'd be a
get,
complete disaster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, no doubt. Well,
All right.
Obviously, audience, if you guys like our topics right now, please like, subscribe. Any other topics you'd like us to touch base on, please let us know. So the next one, a little bit different area. So one of the things we're finding out is an automobile company out of China, BYD, is bringing their vehicles in, but from our neighboring countries like Canada and Mexico. So now I'll let the video kind of explain, but basically, there's an opportunity for you to be able to bring BYD from Mexico or Canada to the U.S. So here we go.
Ah.
What if an American wants to cross the border to Mexico and buy a brand new BYD? Do they have to pay any specific tariffs to bring that vehicle or register it into the U.S.?
You want to buy, you want to lease, walk across the border here, less than a mile away, you'll find a BYD dealership. You can get a brand new BYD Shark pickup truck. That's a PHEV. The Shark looks a lot like a Ranger or a Tacoma, not by accident. Very high quality vehicle. Its price point is around $45,000. You can buy it there, bring it back across the border. No one's going to mess with you.
You're going to start seeing a lot more of that, aren't you? I mean,
Like I say, you don't know. At a certain point, where the money is, follow the money. People say, I can get a much more affordable vehicle out of Mexico and bring it across. Why not?
That's the big one. If from a price point perspective, and I know we've definitely talked about this in the past, is at the end of the day, if the Chinese vehicles do get in the U.S. market, there's going to be a quote unquote bloodbath with the U.S. OEMs, because the price point that they're able to make these high quality vehicles and sell them at a lower price, I mean, it's just going to start demolishing some of the U.S. market. So this is a great way for them to bring in the vehicles legally, since they can't get them here directly into the States.
It's a typical market grab, right? It's a typical market grab. It is where most of these organizations, they build their business with the same strategy. They got something to the market at a low price, even free. A lot of these big giants, mammoths right now in technology and in hardware, they got it at a low price, got us where we can't live without it because that's all we can afford, or that's point where we are so used to it and we don't want to change. So pretty much similar thing is happening, and I think the Ford CEO came back and he was kind of rang that bell, and he said he was put the alarm on, and he said basically hey, we need to seriously look at these cars. We need to seriously make the change in our manufacturing and how we are proceeding within U.S. So I think it's
well, I guess you say, to your point, I think what you're leaning towards is towards how the vehicle's made, as in what's the technology that's in the vehicle, versus how they build the cars in the plants in China versus U.S. You're referring to more alluding to the just for clear for the audience, is that you're referring to the car as in the technology versus how it is in the U.S. currently in the vehicle, correct?
And the price point, right?
And the price point. Well, definitely the price point.
And the price point. And here's the thing. Only way to tackle this, in my opinion, is if the living standard in China of the people there gets to the point where they cannot afford to live at the wages, and then the wages go up, and then they have to build those cars at a certain price.
Well,
that is, I think, the only way
well,
to tackle this. I don't know how they go about it, but that's about it.
That's the thing. I hear, I should put this, allegedly, China does do some subsidizing for these vehicles to be,
Yeah, the government subsidizes the manufacturing.
yeah, allegedly
process for them.
that's what we hear, and
Allegedly.
that's why the cars are so much cheaper
Yeah.
than, or I should say, much lower than the price point in the U.S. or in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
That's what helps drive the price down. Plus, with the tariffs, they I guess allegedly they help with that price
And
point.
the shipping too.
Yeah.
So they help. So basically, the Chinese I mean, there is no covering it up. Chinese government has full control, and they are basically dictating how it's being shipped, how it's being manufactured, how every aspect of it. Just to do that, they're able to control the whole market, and when they are doing it, and it's not the manufacturers are pushing it to in Mexico and Canada. It's the government.
But it's not just here too where you're going to have issues.
It's
They're
all over
already
the
seeing
world.
some of these issues in Europe too that are starting to happen where
It's all over the world.
these
all over the world.
vehicles are getting their way in, and
because there's so much
right.
So much
Yeah.
at a
Because even
price
if you
point.
do, like you were just saying, even if you do have a tariff or whatever, that's 35%, or like this guy just mentioned to it, that 35% doesnn't matter because
doesn't matter.
the price of a different vehicle, an Audi or BMW or Mercedes, et cetera, could be, $60,000, whereas this would then make a 30 go to 40.
Yeah, so I think what basically the U.S. Market need to figure out is how to be efficient to the point where they're able to compete with this.
But can we get that efficiency without the government assistance, like what they supposedly are getting?
Well, I think in a money wise, I don't think it's just a money factor. I think it's a regulation factor. So I think basically the markets here, they need a regulation help where they can get assistance as they ask for, and basically.
Yeah, to your point.
Yeah.
I believe our administration signed an executive order. I think it was an executive order. I believe. So that way, these vehicles can be built. I think it's something to do with the size of the vehicle, and they can not. I have to meet certain emission standards.
Yeah,
So I
it's
think those emission
all about the
standards-
emission standards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's able to for them to be able to make smaller cars with not meeting those emission standards, which honestly not every state follows. Like for example, Michigan doesn't follow emission standards.
I know, but my thing is there's so much like dinosaur regulations we have in our industries that monitor EPA and the other safety standards. Some of the like, hey, you have to have this windshield wiper to make it legal. While there's no driver in the car, you don't need a windshield wiper.
Yeah.
So let's revisit all those. Let's figure it out how we can optimize our companies and let people do what they do. I think the government is in certain places they are the obstacle.
Yeah.
They are obstacle in innovation. Let's put it straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
Where
very true.
potentially in China they're
They're
assisting.
promoting. They're
Right.
we can argue about how they deal with their people, but on the business side, they're going 200 miles per hour.
Yep.
Yeah, again, if you guys like our topic, please like, subscribe. If you want to comment on other topics, please let us know. But speaking of China, Sandeep,
Yes.
since you keep bringing them up. I don't know why you do
Well,
that.
I mean, right now, I mean, we're competing with them, so yeah.
Yeah. So I thought this was very cool. But this is automated paving machines for paving roads. So let's take a look at this one.
Good people there, though. Oh, completely autonomous.
Wow.
Wow. Look at how in sync they are, too.
Yep.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, you would
Yeah.
think.
Let's see. Well, there's no people.
Well, yeah, I was just looking at the dump truck to see if there was somebody in
No,
that even.
there's no people.
That's incredible.
Other
Just
than
have to
people
program
watching
it?
them machine to do stuff.
Yeah, right.
The audience. Other than the audience, there's no people.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. I mean, do I think this is where things are going? 100%. I mean, is it fairly easy to do an
Yes.
autonomous,
Yes.
steamroller, I guess?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes. So there's a company out of Ohio. They have there's a robot to fill cracks, and it's basically it scans the road, and then only one driver just driving the truck.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one.
And
And the robot on the back end of
yeah,
it fills
robot,
it up.
and
Yep.
they just have that yellow monster in the back, and that's just filling those cracks. So
Yeah, I was going to say, well, kind of more of a question for you both. So obviously, this is more fully automated, a fully automated design.
Fully autonomous, yeah.
Yeah, fully autonomous is more in that realm. So, out of curiosity, would you guys trust road construction done by robots like this?
So here's the thing. In being in the robot business, being in automation, being mobility,
Yeah, say the mobile robot.
mobile robots. Automation is basically consistency, right? The
Yeah.
first day you set up a robot which is off 2 millimeters is gonna be off 2 millimeters about 20 years later. Other than physical factors that your ecosystem around doesn't change. So yes and no. So yes is it is it that efficient? Is it that if there's a balance there between the quality of it? Who's monitoring the quality output?
I mean, and you saw there was still a few people there, checking, looking over things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't think that's going to be an issue. And to be
No.
honest, if you're asking me, some of this stuff that I'm looking at there, it's easier to program that stuff than it would be a
human.
Roomba, because I'm on a flat road. I'm going straight. I have my
Yeah.
X and Y axis. I'm not going around a chair. I'm not going around other objects. I'm just staying on that path. And
So-
if you stay on that path, that's a heck of a lot
well,
easier.
So
I
there's a
think.
construction. Sorry, I want to just add to it. There's a construction heavy equipment right now that being monitored remotely, and they set through the GPS. They said, okay, this is the grade we need. This is the area, and this is the grade they need to go this side. And they set it up, and then the person just watching it on TV is doing his thing, and that's already in place in the U.S. So it's going that way. We're not like dinosaurs here. We are, we're
Right.
going that way.
But I think what this video shows is that's even easier than what you were just describing.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right? So it's a
but-
flat road. There's no one there. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
easy dimensions.
obviously great video, great Thomas showing how that's working there. But I don't know if you guys noticed, it was a perfect condition.
Sure.
Bright,
Yeah,
sunny
yeah.
day. It's not like, for example, Michigan, where it's like right now -20 out, or wind chill factor -20. How does it react in those conditions? How does it react to the rain? How does it react to the
So-
wind? How does
so-
it react?
Yeah, so I
it's-
think further in the video, there's an answer for that. I'm not gonna mention right now. There's a one of the videos I think we may share. there's an answer for that, how it reacts to a snow.
Or lightning.
Well, here's the thing, right? I think all these technologies and so on, they're you saying that in a perfect condition, yes, but there's a lot more going on in the U.S. to adapt that. The biggest factor in U.S. I went to a couple of shows lately. The biggest factor from even auto industry, the question that they had was the regulations, the way their regulations are set in the U.S. They're stopping a lot of that innovation, and we had to fill out one of the.
Well, out of curiosity, speaking to that, can you give us an example of that?
Okay, so there's an autonomous people mover shuttle bus that is, is coming from other country, Europe, and the roadblocks they're getting here is our safety, our transportation safety, basically. They say, hey, it doesn't have a windshield wiper. Well, we don't need one because it doesn't have a driver. Oh, where's the
Steering wheel.
yeah, where's the steering wheel?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a steering wheel. Oh, so things like that is where we need to basically upgrade those safety standards and with the current technology.
So when you say that, those examples you gave without the windshield wipers, without the steering wheel, are they saying that needs to be included into the design?
To be on the road in U.S.
Okay.
Well, yeah, and I think you're seeing that with Waymo and some of the other autonomous
Waymo.
driving stuff on the road. They still have those things.
Yeah.
And I believe Tesla ran into the issue, the same thing, I think, with one of the mirrors, is they used to use cameras, and they said, well, you have to have
that
a mirror.
too. Sorry, the mirror too.
So it's, well, I have cameras. I don't necessarily need a mirror,
Yeah.
right? So there are certain aspects. But with this video, I mean, this, like I said, in my opinion, this is easier for those guys to program than a Roomba.
I never seen any of that. But
It's just a bigger scale, right?
Yeah, and there's a construction equipment already in play in the U.S. They are already using a similar technology, and so it will come. Only pushback they're gonna have is from certain organizations that have people like.
Unions are going to get upset because construction work jobs.
Yeah,
that just cut them
my
down
next question
tremendously.
to you guys. Is this going to help lower long-term cost?
Well, yes, but here's the thing though. Just gives the example. There's a bridges in towards Kalamazoo they've been trying to build. It took them like 3 or 4 years to build those bridges. Where you can see some of the other places they get them done in 72 hours.
Yeah, you've seen the videos on YouTube.
I mean, it's and some of the things we delayed because just the way some of the organizations are set up and
certain things I should say, but certain equipment, it could, one of those, a bulldozer or a steamroller, whatever it is, might cost double what a traditional one is, but over a 10-year span, you're going to save money. Therefore, the company's going to do that instead of
some of these
instead
ROI.
of higher.
So one of the things we are working on, the ROI is less than freaking 2 years.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. So companies are going to look into that and say, okay, or I'd have to employ, 6 or 7 people for 4 or 5 of these machines. Now even though the machines are double the cost, now I can save on that. A company's going to probably choose that all the time.
Yep.
It's all about the ROI. End of the
Yes, it is.
day. So, again, you guys like our topic, please subscribe. You want to learn about other topics as well on the AI side of it, get our opinions on it. Yeah, please let us know through the comments, and we'll give you Sandy's number.
Oh yeah, it's posted everywhere. It's 1-800. Call me.
So, gentlemen, speaking of lowering costs in perspective, so one of the things that was kind of interesting is the graphics on repos for, believe it or not, kind of cars, boats, RVs, kind of toys, people's toys are getting repoed. So I'll play the clip.
That's it. I'm calling it watercraft, jet skis, boats, etc. The crash is here. I got a call from one of my buddies at the auction. It looks like a graveyard. The amount of jet skis, that are sitting there to be sold that have been repossessed, and boats. He says the inventory is doubling and tripling every week that goes by. They are repoing these things left and right. Nobody can afford the payment any longer. I got indigestion, I
He's
think.
missing his boat.
If you're looking to buy that kind of stuff this spring, it's going to be dirt cheap. I wouldn't be paying full pop for anything. There's been reported that Model 23 boats are still on dealer lots, up to 40% off MSRP. Brand new boat, 40% off. A lot of you have been waiting for this crash. I called it again in the RV sector. I'm now calling it. I'm ringing the bell. The crash for watercraft is here, and they don't know how bad it's going to be. But people that can't afford life in general can't afford
Very
their toys either.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of factors in my opinion. I do see it. Maybe there's an economic factor to it, but I think the other factor is just a generation shift as well. How many people are really want to go out there on the, use those, water sports.
Yeah,
it
could be a slight shift there, but also too, it's a sign of economic potential. They always say the toys are always the first things to go in an economic downturn or recession. And so, like he kind of mentioned, RVs seemingly sound like it's already there.
Obviously, cost of living right now, you see it on a lot of podcasts. They talk about it, as in, the wages versus the cost of living right now. It's growing. I believe the inflation kind of stopped in 2025, or at least it's very
Flatline.
Kind of flatline, yeah. But the problem is that wages are not matching with the inflation.
Right.
And so somehow that gap needs to be fulfilled. But on the toy side of it, it's very, very interesting, especially with, if you're going 40% off MSRP, what was on boats, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's probably some readjustments going on as well, because since COVID, a lot of these sports goods and automobiles, that they've been the price to like $20,000-$30,000 more than what they should have been. So I think they've been, since 2020, they've been that shift. So I think there's some of that readjustments coming, because they are hitting the reality now.
Oh, you're saying that the price of the product is deflating that much,
Yeah, it's
we talked about on other, I think it was our last podcast, or maybe two back, where we're seeing vehicles that are priced at $70,000 as soon as you drive off the lot, and a year later you try trading it in, you have a $30K difference now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of those. So a lot of I'm guessing is one of the aspect is that people who bought it then, a lot of these products, and they see like the negative equity in that is so much right now. They're like, just give it back to the
Give it back to the
financial institution and let them deal with it. So yes, I think.
So then, are we going to see a pullback then on car prices too, do you think?
Car prices pullback almost, I think, have to happen with all the pressure with this Chinese cars. Basically, it's kind of like we have a steak fest going on in here, and the wolves are standing on the border. So basically, those wolves are on the border, and we need to wolf being Chinese car manufacturer. So we need to somehow figure it out how we can keep the loyalty of the people towards the U.S. car market, manufacturers. And I think the loyalty only right now is to $1, and if they readjust that to where they are more affordable for American people, and I think that is because U.S. is the biggest consumer as far I say in the world of things.
Yep.
So,
but I guess Raul, do you think that people are getting away from some of these because of financial reasons, or like Sandeep mentioned, do you think it's more of an I'm not really into it anymore. I don't have my job where I was working remotely and could live or go up north every
I think
weekend.
there's two
right?
factors here. So one is, you know, a lot of companies are kind of. I don't know if you guys are noticing it. I see a lot of posting of, a lot of layoffs are happening right now. A lot of the companies are moving, and like for example, I think I just saw In-N-Out Burger. They're moving their headquarters from California to Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the companies out of, for example, California, and that's probably where a lot of these toys are at.
Maybe, yeah.
They're moving their
a good
headquarters
point.
out
Yeah,
of California
it's a taxation to
Yeah, I mean, you
to
lose your
Texas or
job. I can't
Florida.
afford my toy anymore, right?
Yeah.
And well,
a good point.
what I'm alluding to is these jobs. I guess people with the billionaires they're moving their businesses out of there. So I can see, okay, I don't need this jet ski anymore because I'm going with the business to Texas.
Yeah.
Let's say Dallas.
Yeah.
You're not going to see a body of water anywhere near
Yeah.
there.
What do you mean? There's a big lake,
So,
right?
or maybe they'll go to Florida. Florida
got
might be a
puddles.
little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from what I'm hearing or seeing online, same thing like New York. A lot of people are leaving New York, coming to Florida or coming to Texas, mainly for the taxes and everything.
Yeah, it's a mostly
And-
common theme. Sorry, just to add to that is
Yeah.
it's a common theme is the taxation. And somebody said, you know what, like people say, oh, why don't millionaires pay taxes and this and that? Well, they pay when they build things. But anyways, without getting deep into the discussion, is that all these businesses are for-profit businesses. They're gonna do what's best for them. So I think that's what they're doing, and they're moving from, this high-taxed, high-regulated areas to places where they're more able to compete with the global market with the regulations
Which then means job layoffs in
Yeah,
that location,
yeah,
which
yeah.
means people then have to sell their stuff.
yeah. So and those are quite a bit populated areas as well. Where the things are moving, California and New York.
Yep.
Yep.
No, definitely. Again, guys, if you like this topic, please subscribe, give comments, and this time I'll give you Keegan's number.
I don't know about that.
So, gentlemen, on this next topic, talking about billionaires and whatnot. So this is something that I saw on Patrick David's show, where he talks about AI bots. How on social media side, they did this. There was not them per se, but a study came out where there is actually more
bots than people on
bots than people online.
I thought on X they did that a few
Really?
months back where they found a bunch of the popular
purge?
bots.
They
Bunch
did a
of
bot
the
purge?
popular people on X were bots.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's like at 51%. I think I'll let
Wow.
the stat show.
I only
but-
use one social media mostly too. So
So let me play this clip right here real quick.
A report just came out for bots in 2025. What would you say? What percentage of users on X, on Facebook, on YouTube, what percentage of people there are bots versus actual real accounts with actual real people behind them? What do you think the number is based on this report? I'll let you guys guess. Anybody that's watching this live, put in the comments section. What do you think it is online of what percentage are real, what percentage are fake? People online. So imagine you get 1,000 retweets of somebody that they want to promote, that they want to drive, a message they want to drive. Criticism in the comment section. What percentage of bots are real?
Interesting.
What percentage of users online are real? What
I
percentage
mean, if
are
I were to
fake?
guess, I'd say probably
I'll
10
wait.
to 20%.
Stephen A., what do you think?
What percentage of bots
So I'm
are
going to
real?
skip ahead
Yes.
to where he talks
What percentage of
about
bots,
this, guys.
users online
So
are
I'm gonna
fake
move
or
this
bots?
forward. I believe it's about right here.
60?
Okay, Rob, pull it up very close. He's actually higher than what the report says. Watch this. Among automated threats, go to the top so they can see the report all the way at the top, Rob. It says the smarter bots and bigger risks. Automated threats are rising at an unprecedented rate with bad bots now making up 37% of all internet traffic. AI is not only being used by attackers to create more advanced evasive bots, that target APIs exploit business logic and fuel fraud, but it's also lowering the barrier to entry for attackers, resulting in an increase in volume of simple bot attacks. For the first time in a decade, automated traffic has surpassed human activity. Let me say that one more time.
Wow.
Automated traffic has surpassed human traffic. Fake accounts officially are more than human beings. So you and I can be looking at something, you're like, oh my God, why does half the country feel this way? It's a freaking bot.
Yeah.
And we fall for it. Then we hate each other. Then we hate this person.
Yeah.
And then we hate a country or we hate a
great-
certain
I don't know if you saw
community
the
or
stat.
eat.
It was 51%
Yes.
right now. Right now.
Wow.
At this point in time.
So on Earth, there's a 51% fake people right now.
Fake people online
Wow.
commenting.
What does that say about our followers?
Yeah.
Ours are real. Ours are real.
100% real.
100% real.
100%. 101% real.
Yeah, we didn't automate them.
No.
But this is incredible. I mean, that, and it's only going to get worse with AI, right? And so in 5-10 years,
So-
it's probably going to be 75%.
But see, yes, it's gonna be, and this all goes down to, right? We're putting all these big data centers in everywhere. Are those data centers are being used?
What are they being used for? Right?
Exactly,
Is the
right?
question.
We've been talking about it. Are they used for good, and who's regulating those? You know,
Well,
But my question is though, can't these social media platforms easily find these bot farms and these bot accounts?
I'm
Because
pretty sure.
if I'm sending and replying to 10 to 20,000 texts or posts a day,
if they
clearly
can- if-
I'm not a human.
Oh.
if I can post one post and they can suspend my account for one post, I'm pretty sure they can find a bot.
well,
Right.
But why aren't they finding? That's my question.
Well, and don't mean to interrupt you guys, but
Do.
oh my gosh. So I'm glad you brought this up because both of you are alluding to the next video. And
Yeah.
it was a comment he made on this podcast. So, believe it or not, he during this podcast he was kind of complaining about how somebody created an ad using him. Him
Yeah,
per
I saw
se.
that.
Yep. And giving his business advice. And it looked so real. He said, I had so many people reach out to me that I know personally. And they're like, why did you say this? And he's like, I didn't. And then he talks about how that, he goes, he reached out to that company that's providing this ad. And since they're not in the U.S., they don't follow by the regulations that we do. And they just kept playing it because they're getting paid to do it.
Yeah.
They're getting money.
Oh, you're saying the social media company kept playing it because they're getting ad revenue off of it because it's getting so
Exactly.
many views.
So
Exactly.
That's
So
but that's insane. Like that's where there needs to be some
keep going,
regulation,
guys.
because
So-
this is absolutely wild. To
yeah,
me.
so to the regulator, right? So you know how we have, if you buy a product, right, and it has this one is USDA approved, this one is FDA,
Yeah.
whatever, right?
Well, I want to show you guys this. So real quick.
Yeah,
So
please.
this is the AI ad.
The next 90 days will make millionaires in 2025. These are the top
nose
3
looks a
stocks to
little
buy in a turbulent market. I guarantee that some of them will surprise you. You don't need to rush to act or buy immediately. You can join my group to see my real investment case.
Oh.
For example,
Look at
the
that. You got
Palantir stock I shared in the group before has risen by more than
6,517 likes there.
300% in half a year.
And 667
I don't charge any
comments.
fees, and if my advice doesn't meet your expectations, you can
And it's not
withdraw at
even
any
him.
time.
Yeah, that's wild. So again, though, this one is the one that just kills me. The fact that he can't go after some of these social media companies and then sue them for these fake
So-
accounts or do something to protect themselves.
Yeah.
I don't understand how and why these companies don't do it. And it's probably because, hey, look, I think I just read last year Facebook just increased their subscribers 20%. Well, in reality, it's probably 1% human, 19%.
Well, there's no.
bots,
Here's the catch.
allegedly.
Why aren't they? How do I say this? Why are these companies, pushing back on some of this stuff for an ad that somebody never created, but using Sandeep's face, using Kiki's face, using my face to say this?
Well, and I think this happened to Joe Rogan last year before, if I recall, something like this, where
but they're getting money out of it. They're getting the revenue. They're getting the likes.
So to your point, one of the social media person, that influencer, whatever you want to call them, they basically said that they love when people put hate comments in there because it just
generates more views.
It just generates more view and this and that.
More shares.
And I think I mentioned last time, it was like this gentleman who basically used he was advertising his business, and he was from a different country with a different, his English wasn't too well, and he got a lot of hate underneath. Because of that hate, his business tripled, because now he was visible to all the businesses that he was doing business with. So it is a different world. We're gonna need to adjust.
But there's no incentive, though, for these social media companies to stop the bots, because, like you said, it does get the likes, the shares, the comments.
We're gonna need an organization, and it's a really fine line between free speech and are we gonna start regulating the freedom, or are we gonna let this Wild West go? So it is another world. It's another.
So here's a question for you guys, and question the audience as well. So how much what you guys see online do you trust?
There's my
trust
answer.
is a big word.
There's my answer. It's always slanted, right? And that's the hard part. And in knowing this now, it's going to even back in my mind even more is even the people I'm following, the comments I'm replying to, the things I'm, getting worked up about or, irritated by. It's like, well, this person probably isn't even real.
Yeah.
Well,
we just gotta.
I'm glad you said that, Keegan. So on this next topic, or I should say, it actually just flows right into it. Flows right into this. So this gentleman shows here about the Ukraine-Russia war, how these, I guess you call them bots, are, pro-Ukraine. So I'll let him explain this real quick.
There was a study last year that showed 60 to 80% of Twitter accounts posting about the war in Ukraine are bots, and 90% of them are pro-Ukraine, which really gives you a look into the kind of strategies that the ruling class is using to control the narrative on social media. And I don't have proof or any studies that these bots are on TikTok as well, but they probably are. Plus, TikTok openly admitted to deleting more than 320,000 Russian accounts, which included my account, because apparently I'm Russian now. I always thought I was from Iowa, but honestly, as someone who's gotten banned 7 times and has seen a lot of my friends banned from this app, they're just getting rid of people who are critical of NATO and the US's proxy war efforts. And they did this right after hiring a bunch of former NATO operatives and former national security agents. So don't trust everything you see on the internet, kids.
Yeah, for sure.
It is. Using it was one point where people used social media to change. To bring up revolutions and things like that, and which was sponsored, and it was sponsored by agencies and things like that. And nowadays, it's openly done, and there's no checks and balances.
Yeah,
there's literally the social media there's no.
But it's because, though, again, it goes back to these, you read online that these companies are reviewed on how many followers they add per quarter, right? How many subscribers, people to these social media accounts do they have year over year? Is it growing or is it decreasing? So if they get rid of these, then it looks bad to the shareholders. Therefore, the stock goes down. Therefore, there's no incentive for them to get rid of some of these fake accounts and bots.
Yeah, so I think right now, the whole thing is quantity. Quantity over quality is something that's we need to move towards, but I don't know how, I don't know who, and it's the world we are in.
Because these tech companies are so big and powerful, they've got grasps on DC, and so therefore legislation changes. I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Here's a prime example, right? Here's a one side that there's a Wild West and there's no regulations. On the other side, we're regulating the one industry, basically auto industry and the other industries, like legacy industries.
Yeah,
We're regulating them
we're
to
not-
basically choking them.
Well, to your
So,
point,
I don't know.
The world is not playing on a level playing field,
It's not.
and everyone has quote unquote different regulations. If everybody was on the same level playing field, maybe things would be different. But in your guys' opinions, I think you kind of said it right. But I'm going to emphasize this. So, how dangerous is AI driving misinformation? Like, how dangerous is it? Personally, I think it's
Very, very, very,
dangerous.
very, very dangerous.
Yeah, but we've talked about this in the past, right? I mean, as one social media post can turn into
World War.
riots
It's
to
a World War
protests to now, changing of governments.
Yeah,
and
and
we've
then-
seen that.
And then trying to influence you to think a certain way about a certain subject or a certain war, certain people.
So I think I'm going back to the couple of episodes before where we showed importance of libraries, right? How yes, with all this social media and everything, and there's an influencer. They say, oh, you don't need to go to school, just do the YouTube, and there's one influencer that says that. Yes, but read books, please read books.
Yeah. Something you brought up, and I saw this the other day. It's kind of interesting. So I forgot what the movie was, what the gentleman gave an example of, but they were like, I remember, I think it was actually Star Wars, where he's like, Luke, you're my son. And I guess on the online version, like if you try streaming it, he says something different, like "I'm your father." There's lines are just cut out, and if you have the original film, it doesn't cut it. But
And
the
if you read the book, it's even better.
yeah, well, I guess the point I'm alluding to is that we used to have, well, for us, VHSs, DVDs. We used to have that. We used to just watch it on a DVD or CD and watch the movie. But you have it there. It's on, at your house. You can watch it anytime. Now it's so much streaming that stuff can be tweaked very, very easily.
Without you knowing. Yeah,
Exactly.
taking things out.
So just how our news media shifted from providing a news to opinion media.
Yeah.
Right? We are giving our opinions here, but we are not telling people to follow this and follow that, right? We're just talking about the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Our opinions mean different than ones who's actually in the authority or in the it's supposed to be the
mainstream media.
third or fourth pillar of the society, the media, news media.
The one thing I think we're doing is, we're giving people information on, about AI.
And we sorry, I don't want to cut you off.
Go ahead, go ahead.
We want to actually, what we're doing is we're actually doing it where we trying to having people have look at the information and then look at every angle of it. We just trying to tell people not just to take one perspective of that information and just run with it.
Well, and showing what chatbots and AI and these fake farms can do to influence individuals as well.
And there's 51% of them right now.
Now,
I mean,
literally.
imagine a number hits 80%.
I'll be sharing that
90%.
on LinkedIn soon. Well, this is what I'm saying. There's no incentive for these guys to stop because they just gain subscribers, they gain viewers, they gain followers. I think YouTube just beat Netflix last year on revenue for the first time, right? So, these social media accounts have
YouTube has become basically opinion tube, right? It's where
but you can find us there.
It's a good and bad, right?
For our opinions.
No. I mean, it's a good and bad, right? Both. But it's given an independence to people who never had voice. There's a good part to it, but then there's a part where people just will
I would say manufactured voice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you give opinions for your voice for this small guy. Take the one guy who exposed all the fraud in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Allegedly, and then you have that would have never happened 20 years ago. Right. Unless the mainstream media would have jumped into it. So it's given
there's
these
a good and there's a bad.
Yeah.
But only thing is we as the people, we should support more of the good and should not give more views and more opinions to the.
Well, and I
the
think
bad.
you already see that, right? You look at some of these podcasts and other smaller YouTubers or streamers that get more views than your Fox News, your CNNs, your MSNBCs. When you ABC News, even NBC, you watch clips.
But here's the thing,
of independent journalists.
We're saying that in a way that like how people are regulating. But then again, on what Raul showed was whereas 51%, we got bots. Now we're not against each other. Now we're against the bots.
Yeah.
We're running against the bots,
and we don't even know it.
And we don't even know it. So before we start arguing with somebody online, let's I don't know, figure out how to test if it's a bot or not.
Yeah, I mean,
and maybe that's what they need to do in the future is have a bot account sticker on it and prove you're real. I mean, they do that with X, right, where you can pay to prove, get your blue check mark or whatever it is, right? Maybe that's the future of, hey, you got to prove that you're real. I mean, I did the verification thing on LinkedIn. I'm sure you guys did too.
I did with a clear
where it's
ID.
the same type of thing where you prove your account,
real
and some of these that aren't approved or,
Well, I hate to say it.
Question.
They may, what is it, just an ID? You can create one online and,
sure.
there has to be something there that's a little more advanced.
You got to show your government issue ID.
I think on LinkedIn you had to do the facial recognition thing, didn't you?
Well, yeah, and it was through the clear system they use at a TSA.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, guys, I know we're getting towards the end. I want to hit up two more topics. So one is very interesting. Again, audience, if you guys like our topic, especially on the bots, 51%, please don't be the 51%. Please be the 49%.
Yeah.
Let us know. Like, subscribe.
You should put a negative comment with thinking you're a bot.
Yes.
And we know you're a bot.
This time you can call me 1-800, whatever Sandeep is going to put after that.
1-800-BOTS.
1-800-BOTS.
Fake
do
account.
not comment.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this next topic, guys, is very interesting. Obviously, the administration now is looking for us as a country to start helping out economy-wise in Venezuela, and it's open up some stuff there. So I'm going to play this clip real quick. So give me a second.
We are open for business. China can buy all the oil they want from us there or in the United States. Russia can get all the oil they need from us, and they do like oil, even though they produce a lot of it. But China and Russia and everybody else is able to go, and we'll be open for business almost immediately. I have a feeling the $100 billion will be spent $100 billion will be spent very, very rapidly by these very big, powerful, and rich companies, and I think they're going to be able to rebuild the infrastructure. And I hope it's going to be brand new as opposed to a rehab, because I know the tremendous difference between the new and the not so new in your industry.
So we're open for business in Venezuela. From my opinion, this is very good because, believe it or not, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. And maybe our audience isn't aware of this either. But the Venezuela oil is very different from, I guess, other regions of the world.
I did not know that.
And it's very heavy, very deep, very unique. Guess where the most amount of refineries is to be able to use that oil and turn it into gas, motor oil, etc. Guess
Florida?
where that's at?
The U.S.
Gulf of America. So the U.S. has the most amount of refineries that can be able to transfer that oil. And this would be good for us, helping drop on oil prices. This would be good for the country of Venezuela because they're, have been in a, I guess you say, not in a good state. I don't know if you guys are aware, but prior, I would say 20 or 30 years ago, Venezuela was ranked number 2 in the economy in the world.
Yeah, I did not.
And now, obviously it kind of crashed. But this is a great opportunity for Venezuela to become number 2 again in the economy throughout the world. So,
well,
this is a great
but are the
opportunity.
big oil companies truly going to rush back? That would be my question. And if I'm one of the CEOs or executives, I'm kind of dragging my feet on that because I don't know yet, what the next election is going to look like, the stability there. Are they really going to go back?
It goes back to the government regulations, goes back to if this oil, let's say, pours into our gas stations here, or there's the effect of this oil pours into where the dollar amount drops on, we get a cheaper gas here.
Which then in turn means cheaper electricity bills, cheaper vehicles, cheaper food to get delivered, gas.
Yeah, so energy is one of the biggest probably.
Yeah.
Okay, don't quote me on that, but I think energy is probably one of the biggest factor in the prices of our products that we buy.
Yes.
And I think that when the energy cost goes down, and that may indirectly help our auto industry. I'm going back to auto industry, being in Michigan, being one of the leading automakers
this would
here.
Turn around because gas prices for trucks. A lot of people like buying trucks.
Well, in Michigan, I go up north, and where the signs start showing up, where there's hey, there's a bear crossing here. Remember that? So there's a bear crossing here. You have no choice to get a truck.
Yep.
You get a Mini Cooper there, you will be between your Mini Cooper and your
in the bear.
Bear or a pile of snow. You would not, you would not figure out which one's what.
No, and to your point, you guys are talking about safety and everything for the companies, the investors to be able to invest in Venezuela. From what I'm hearing or what I've been seeing from other podcasts, they talk about this. Is that the U.S. is starting to, make those guarantees, having the military there to help with that transition, and to be able to provide the protection for the investors, for the oil companies, to be able to go in there, be able to use oil, obviously work with the country, and be able to bring that, everything we're talking about, all the positives that come
But again,
from this.
though, what's to say in the next maybe couple years, that's great. But what happens 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now?
Yeah.
And again, if I'm an executive, that's where my concern is. Maybe with the next administration here or the next administration in Venezuela.
Yeah.
Maybe the one now we're happy with down there, but then it could change.
Yeah. So I think there need to be more stability between when the administration change and the regulations. If the regulation cycle is at least 20 or 15 years, then
But I see this as a big win for North America in general.
I mean it is. But
you would think it's going to help Mexico. You would think it's going to help Canada, the U.S.
Yes.
And then even in parts of Europe right now where they're pulling, I think Russia's still the number one, user of oil for Venezuela, if I recall.
Yeah.
But it's one of those where they could get more
what
resources there for everyone.
So one of my friends, he's from Venezuela, and what he said people are confused that hey, the oil U.S. you're gonna use their oil, this and that. They said the oil already being pumped, it's already being sent to Russia and China, but the people of Venezuela do not see the facts. When the money coming in, they do not see.
They're the ones
they
that see
do not see the benefits of it because it's been because of the corruption and so on. According to him, it's all because of the corruption and everything that is there. People are still suffering. So he said, with this, they are hopeful that they will get the benefits of the resources that being used from their country.
Back to the people.
Back to the people.
Right.
That's what's important. And we would like the same thing back to our people, be able to provide more jobs, more opportunities.
Yeah, every country, just like if I'm a household head and I have to think about my household, same way that doesn't change for, it just goes up for the city, state, country. The country we are in the USA, we have to think about US first before we start, thinking about other countries. And because this is where we're gonna live, this is our generation's gonna live, and we have to have America first. There's no apology in that.
No, there isn't. There isn't. Again, you like this topic, please subscribe. If you guys want us to hit more topics like this, please let us know in the comments. And last topic, guys. One, I believe, was it yourself or Keegan that brought
I
this
think
up?
one of us. We both want one.
Both of you guys. They love this.
We want one. So if somebody is willing to sponsor this and send me $1 million check, please do.
Or test drive it. So they're showing. I believe it was MrBeast.
MrBeast.
Yes. Yeah.
He flies a single passenger.
He
car.
races with a
Jetson
with a flying
one.
car.
Yep. One of these Jetsons, quote unquote, flying car versus a regular car, regular SUV.
Yep.
So here we get into the clip.
$150,000 flying car will beat me to work.
Oh yeah.
If that's actually not bad.
I'll give you $1 million.
You'll give me $1 million if I win?
Oh yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, let's get this going. We're gonna race to work
I don't
and see
want
which
to
is
say.
faster,
You know,
a flying
our
car or a
SUVs
normal
about the same
car.
price.
All right, let the race begin.
I wonder how loud that is, though. It's got to be pretty darn loud.
Oh, it's got to be loud with how many? 4 propellers?
Yeah, he doesn't need roads. That's cheating.
Oh, I
For this
still
to be
want
a
to do
true
that.
test, we have to obey all traffic laws. See,
Where are
look,
they
we have to
racing?
stop at a stop sign. Now we can go. But with the flying
Regulation
car, he can
stops
just take a
innovation.
straight path, which is
There's a
why
prime
for as long
example
as people
right
have thought
there.
about the future, flying cars have always been at the forefront. Oh wait, I can see him.
That's it.
Wait, he might already be over halfway. We just started.
Well, we gotta hurry.
Imagine how much time you could save every single day if your commute to work was cut in half because you could fly to it instead of
That'd be
having to
great.
drive to it.
I'd save like 1,000 hours a year.
Maybe not a year.
I didn't do any math.
This $150,000 flying car doesn't even compare to the $1 billion rocket ship we'll be seeing later.
Everybody's
This is
just looking.
the beginning. This thing got here so fast. Come on
Like, what's
in.
going on here?
Oh God! I forgot we're at a beach. Jimmy's not catching up to that at all.
Jimmy, I think
yeah.
you're cooked for the $1 million.
Oh, it's a double
Luckily,
propeller.
I never said I
He's
would
still
give
driving.
this one. He just said he'd give me $1 million. Let me make sure I don't actually run over someone. Oh, there it is. How long have you been here?
10 minutes?
You've been here for 10 minutes?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to drive one of these one day.
Cool.
So here's the thing, right? That car actually had no traffic. Mm-hmm. Still, it was
Well, yeah,
10
they
minutes.
blocked off all the roads for the making of this video.
Yeah.
And it still took.
So it had no traffic, and still it was 10 minutes. Imagine if there was a traffic.
Mm-hmm.
It's good 30, 40 minutes. And plus all the anxiety in the traffic that, like we had a 100-car pileup here
Yeah, 'cause
like
of
a
the
few
snow.
weeks ago, right?
Yeah, but that again, I guess that's a good question, right? As that thing is in sunny California, you're not flying that in the winter here.
Well, okay. Okay, I would not. Okay, send me one. I'll let you know.
Well, just kind of, I guess you say, maybe a devil's advocate type question, but that's only the only one right now that was in the air. But
Right.
imagine everybody had one of those.
Right.
How much traffic would there be?
Well, this is supposed to be Back to the Future that should have already been happening. But
I know.
if you look there, I think
We're a
you're going to
little
get
late.
different levels too, right? You're going to have drones, you're going to have helicopters, planes, these type of flying vehicles, and then probably other autonomous. We talked about it in the past, not just personal drones, but people, doing delivery drones, et cetera, potentially. So you might have different heights and levels of where
Kind of
flying
like Star
is.
Wars,
Can't
where you
fly.
see the different levels of
Yeah,
cars
maybe,
moving
yeah.
around.
No. So I did talk to. So I attended a couple of these drone meetings, where drone operators plus the regulators and everybody was in those meetings. So that was exact conversation that went on was where they're trying to figure out is what is the priorities, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you regulate the air traffic with a priority?
With the FAA, right?
With the FAA,
Yeah.
how do you know which and
Who has
how does that
priority?
priority
Yeah.
actually comes in when there's a helicopter and there's a drone carrying maybe a heart for a surgery, where helicopter is taking governor of somewhere to somewhere,
Or,
right?
or trying to get to a hospital with a patient on it.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you regulate? How do you regulate the priorities? So those are the regulations where we should be paying attention. We are not, but again, I'm gonna go back to my original point. We really need to look at our circle back to the first point. Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask. I got two questions for you guys, and you may have answered one of them already. So, in a row, we'll start with Keegan. So, first question: Would you ever ride something like this, kind of like the Jetsons one? Would you ever ride it? Second thing, do you trust it as in the automation side of it? I'm assuming MrBeast had automation flying it instead of himself.
No, it actually it wasn't Mr. The other gentleman,
Yeah,
no,
the other
he
guy
was
was in
flying it.
Yeah, yeah.
He had a joystick.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But
So
would
my
I
point-
trust it? Yeah, for now, because there's just one of those things flying around, right? Now in the future, I would assume there's going to be some autonomy to let me know I couldn't just drive or fly into, say, a building or into another person that's next to me.
And-
There's got to be some communications that they're
Yeah,
going to have
so-
between each other.
Kind of like you know, like the little lane changers we have in our newer cars.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, I turn them off because they're annoying. We have where if you go off.
He just told us what he's going to do. This is annoying.
Yeah. Well, you go off a little bit off the lane and it start beeping,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And and those things are there. So similar way, there's a technology with the lidars, where's other radars. There's a technology that being used in drones that can be used in these, or they probably already are, to be semi-autonomous.
But and like we've talked in the past, that's just one of those Jetson 1 things flying around. You see how loud it is. Imagine 20 of them above your city,
Oh, yeah,
1,000 of them above your city.
Yeah.
And then what are we talking about? I mean, is this realistic? I think we talked about in the last episode with the drones. If you just have even those smaller drones, say a couple thousand flying around your town, everyone's going to go insane. Now imagine that thing with 20 of them, 100 of them, 1,000 of them. You know, people are going to start losing their minds. So
Yes.
it's
so I think that one makes sense in a taxi setting. It makes sense where you're moving
to get dropped off at 2 a.m. after you leave the bar. You're going to wake the whole neighborhood up.
Well, okay, not in that scenario. More in the scenario of you going from one meeting to another, and you're not. Let's say
like in New York, maybe, right?
New
You're going
York.
top of building to
Yeah,
top of building,
building to building.
Okay,
right?
that I could see potentially as not as bad, but flying around this area, whew, no way.
Yeah.
No.
Again, a one-off. See, okay, sure, that went by, but now imagine those throughout the day and night.
So, Sandeep, I believe you said you would do it. You would
Yes,
ride one of these.
I'll
in
do
a
it
heartbeat?
100%.
Yeah,
If you
for
wanna,
sure. For now.
you want me to send me a demo version of it, please contact me, and I'll do it.
I would do it too, but like Keegan said, I think I would rather be the only person up there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
For now.
I don't know. I don't trust Sandeep. He might turn off the sensor.
No, I want a little more control over it. I'm a little control freak.
Well, we'll let him drive. So, guys, anything else? Last comments?
No, I think we covered quite a few areas, and I think there's a lot of things that we are thinking that where government should be paying attention. That is a safety for the humans, and that maybe via security for the their citizens, what they're got voted in for, and that security could be in a physical sense, and it could be online, and so I think that is one factor, and the other factor is we need to figure out the regulations that are being basically they're never been changed for 100 years, and we need to figure out how we can bring those to the current.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It definitely needs to come up to the technology that
It need to play catch up, and it need to do it. It need to be done now. Otherwise, we're gonna be so far back in the game that we're not able to keep up with all the things that are coming around us.
And just for the audience to be aware, we want to hear from you. So please leave a comment. Tell us what topics you like, what stood out to you guys the most. Please let us know if you want us to cover certain topics on the next podcast. Please, we're open to suggestions. Obviously, if you want to send Sandeep a mini version of it,
no, full.
a mini version of that single pilot Jetson pack, he'll be open to it.
Yeah, I'm open to if you send me just a month subscription and so I can write it for a month and give you my opinion as a user.
All right, sounds good. Keegan?
All right, thanks. And if you guys enjoyed today's episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll join you here next time on Automation Breakfast.
Thank you, guys.
All right, back to the bacon.